This is the Tom Barnard Podcast. Listen live weekday mornings, 8 to 9:30, or anytime you like as a podcast on the Tom Barnard app at tombarnardshow.com or wherever you get your podcasts.
Indeed, ladies and gentlemen. So basically, it's 52 degrees. When I got up, what was that, on Saturday, and it was, like 31?
It's chilly.
Mm-hmm. Holy God, was it cold out. But yeah, it's 52 already. It's supposed to be, well, let me see. Do I have the weather here? I had it somewhere. I don't know, whatever. Yeah, but I mean, it's supposed to be in the 60s for the next couple of days and then be in the 50s for about a week, I heard.
Yeah, it looks like it might even get up to like 74 today, 78 tomorrow, 70 Wednesday, and then you're getting back down to like mid 50s.
Global warming. You always got to bitch about something. No matter how good it is, you got to bitch about something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like, I'll give you an example.
These pants fit too well on me today. I'm really mad. Global warming.
They're too well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they fit too well.
Why?
I don't know.
Global warming.
I've broken them in.
Because of global warming?
Yes, yeah, global warming.
One thing, today will probably be, okay, no, today is Monday, the 28th of October. I can promise you today is the last day I will ever come in to the studio or do it remotely and say, hey, I watched the news this morning. I'm never doing it again. I cannot watch the national news. I can't watch it. It's negative and hateful and horrible. What did I tell you? I got popped by what the hell's that one? I don't even know these social media sites. Facebook.
Okay.
I went on Facebook, I think on Friday, maybe it was Thursday, something like that. I said, hey, you know what? Could you back off on the Hitler and the Nazis and the blah, blah, blah? I mean, the guy killed 6 million Jews and who knows how many millions of people total. You can't really compare people who live in America to Adolf Hitler. They nailed me for posting that. Oof. It's basically stop talking about Nazis. And they said, you brought up the word Nazi and Hitler. We're gonna have to silence you.
Wait, like Facebook?
Yeah. Yeah.
Interesting.
Shut me down.
I didn't realize that was now a flag term.
I didn't either.
Yeah, well, I would assume that they go, if you were to go on there and be like, oh, you're a Nazi, you're Hitler, right. They're like, okay, we got to cut that out. But I'm assuming they're a little AI, because it's not a person that's
no, it's AI,
so yeah, they probably just flagged it. And I'm sure somebody will review it and be like, okay, oops, mistake.
Just one guy glued to a screen scrolling everybody's post.
Ooh, that'd be a good job, actually. No, I'm literally saying, just don't call people Nazis or Hitler or anything. It's just not, that's way over the top. And again, the number one reason I did that is to where I grew up in North Minneapolis. Many kids there, Jewish kids, had grandparents, mom's parents or dad's parents or whatever, that had the tattoos on their arms of the serial numbers because they were in concentration camps during World War II. And now you're going to come on and say that I should be canceled because I don't want you to use the word Nazi around them.
Yeah, and it wasn't just the Jews that he went after. It was homosexuals, and it was
everybody,
and it was people that were in insane asylums and disabled people. He didn't just go after the Jews. It was way more than the 6 million Jews that he wanted to do. I mean, the Jews were the major part of it, but he went after everybody that he didn't think was the master race or whatever like that.
What I did, which evened things out, I said, okay, if this is how it's going to be, if I'm trying to protect people, I tell you what, I can sacrifice Gelfand. He's a Jew, so I'll give him to you. And then, no,
we have one sacrificial lamb.
My buddy Mike Gelfand. God, I love Gelfand. Isn't that weird? We were talking about that too. How is it possible that two people I think the world of could not be more different? You got Gelfand on the way far left, and you got Mike Lindell on the way far right, and I think the world of both of them. How is that possible? Explain that to me. Anyone know?
I don't know, but it's impossible not to like Gelfand. So I think.
Well, I don't know if it's impossible.
He tricks everybody into just liking him.
He kind of does, doesn't he?
Yeah, because like there'll be days where he'll just have a random conversation. You'll learn some amazing story. He'll be like, "Oh yeah, I was out to dinner with whatever famous person, or writing a story, hanging out in whatever Twins locker room," and you're like, "Gelfand, you've lived the most incredible life. Like, how are you this interesting?"
Well, there were a couple of bumps in the road in the family life and all that stuff, unfortunately. One thing I did, he still owes me to this day. Because you know how most people I talk to, they go like this. See, here's the deal. I don't think that you should, and I'm pointing at the camera right now. This is how Gelfand used to do it, and I'm not making it up, and he didn't even know he was doing it. Let me just tell you, The thing about it is like, it's the pointer. It's called a pointer finger for a reason. This is called the FU finger, and this is the pointer finger.
Just
figure it out.
Everybody the bird for no reason.
For no reason whatsoever. What are you going to do? We got Halloween coming up, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, listen to this. I want you to cover this for the show.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Halloween costume party brings out North Minneapolis families. So I need you to go over to North Minneapolis during the show, probably on Halloween day. And I want you to go there before it gets light out, though.
I'm going to tell you a little something about what I will not be doing. I will be hanging out. No, I'm good.
Not in the old neighborhood?
Oh, no.
Not hanging out in the old neighborhood.
No. Not on Halloween? No.
This is Tevin live on the scene. I'm dressed up as a guy who no longer has his wallet.
Yes.
Watch, wallet, ring.
No,
I got nothing.
That's my costume.
But I will tell you, people go, you really, really want to experience all that stuff? I said, yeah, I'm not making that stuff up. Saul's grocery store on Plymouth Avenue in North Minneapolis had kids lined up to get their trick or treat, on Halloween day, get their little treat.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're all lined up and ready to go. And all of a sudden we heard this horrible noise. We look out, about a 7-8-year-old kid smoked, got run right over by a car, killed him immediately. I mean, why is it that if you come from a neighborhood like that, you have a horrible memory of every holiday? It's like, oh my God. You want to know my Thanksgiving one?
I'm scared to say yes.
There's a great Thanksgiving. Well, it's not as bad as a kid getting killed by getting run over the car. But Saul's was great. There was two of them. There was one on West Plymouth and one on East Plymouth. But now I forgot the story I was going to tell. What was I going to tell?
Thanksgiving.
Oh,
somebody probably died.
No, nobody died this time. But a friend of mine I used to work with, he had really bad teeth. And we said, man, you got to go get your teeth fixed. You'd be a pretty handsome guy, but your teeth are just gnarly as hell and you got to get them fixed and blah, blah, blah.
Mm-hmm.
So he said, hey, man, I'm going in the Wednesday before Thanksgiving. They're going to redo all my teeth. They said he could do it all in just one day. I said, my God, doing it one day, that's pretty damn cool. He said, oh, it's going to be wonderful. Comes back on Monday after Thanksgiving and goes, you sons of bitches. I'm like, what? He said, I went and had my teeth fixed. They looked really, really good. One problem was I was not used to having all that bulk in my mouth anymore because his teeth were so rotted out.
Mm-hmm.
Standing at the Thanksgiving buffet, vomited on all the food. I guess it made him, I don't know, it made him feel like there was something down his throat or something, and he vomited because of the new teeth. So there wasn't a big Thanksgiving buffet that day. But
no, the family was like, I liked you better when you had your old teeth in.
Yeah, I agree. The gnarly teeth.
Fucking just throwing up on, like,
can you imagine?
Kicked out of the family.
And, he's trying not to do it, so he sprayed, of course. It wasn't just the hurl, it was spray. It was like,
no.
Oh, God, what a life I've had. It's been magnificent. There's no question about it. Don't you think?
Yeah.
All right. So what we didn't we're 2-0. What the Dodgers, right?
Yes, Dodgers. Yeah, Freddie Freeman, first ever walk-off grand slam in World Series history.
World Series history.
And then I didn't see them actually close out Game 2, but I know I think Shohei got hurt in the seventh inning. It sounds like he's on track to be back for Game 3, though.
Was it a shoulder? Because they said it was a shoulder, an elbow, and a wrist. So I don't know which one it was.
Non-throwing, I guess shoulder is what I heard, but
shoulder,
whatever.
Okay.
Yeah, the injury.
They don't know. They didn't check in.
But it's zero clue. Yeah, it's like hockey, upper body, lower body injury type of thing.
Well, I'm just glad that smaller markets are involved in the World Series.
Yeah, it's always an underdog story is always fun. Ragtag group, little to no money.
And yes, Mike is wearing you can't quite see the North Star logo. There it is. There right there. He's got his North Star logo he's wearing today. And Mike, do you still do radio in La Crosse area?
It's my fob for the building is kind of symbolic now, but
I can't get in.
I mean, I since I moved back from Ohio last year, I was in Ohio for 7 years and came back.
Well, you used to call me from Ohio, didn't you?
Yeah, when I carried the mail.
That's what I thought.
I'm trying to get back into carrying the mail again because I'm getting fat cleaning up after college kids in La Crosse. But yeah, I put God on the air on the one station once since I've been back. We broadcast a church service on Sunday.
Oh, sure. Oh God. Now you just gave me another memory. 1500 KSTP back in the day.
You played it backwards?
Yeah, and didn't know I was playing it backwards because it was in Polish. So Polish sounds to me, backward and forward sounds exactly the same.
We used to have a Hmong show every
absolutely
Sunday morning. It was all in Hmong, except for the commercials,
Sure.
And you know what they're saying. I mean, they could be saying the bombing starts at noon or whatever. Who knows, right?
Could be, yes.
But they ran out of people that wanted to do that show, so that died out.
Oh, so the show just died. They didn't want to do the show?
Yeah, none of the Hmong people would step up after the guy retired and to do it.
Really? That kind of shocks me because you think they'd want to get the message out.
Yeah, right. And I heard you say before there's Hmong stations here in the cities and stuff.
Yeah, matter of fact, there's a Hmong station that comes in. I think it might be in the top 10, actually. I think it does pretty well, actually. They talk about, what a prick I am. I suppose that draws a lot of listeners. It I'm not sure. Now those days are over.
That happens in more than one language you're talking about?
No, it might be hanging there in a lot of different languages. It's a possibility. But, God, there was something else. We had guests in on Friday on this show and the family show. Mm-hmm. We had Adam and Brian came in. They put out a movie called Don't Move.
Yep. Did you watch it?
Yes.
How good was it? No, I did not.
It's really good, and it's the #1 movie on Netflix.
Incredible.
It's all we do is deliver for our guests.
That's all we
do.
No
question.
They come on this show, and you go straight to the top on Netflix.
#1 movie on Netflix. It is good, man.
That's that Tommy B bump right there.
It is a bump.
Netflix servers just shut down because so many people are
stock prices skyrocketing.
The people in it, there are about 4 or 5 people in it because it's all about a guy who kidnaps a woman.
Mm-hmm.
So they're mostly in the car, and he injects her with some kind of drug so she can't move or talk. It's good. I mean, it's a really, really good movie. It's not too violent, too. That's the best. I mean, it gets violent. Don't get me wrong, but it's not over the top, slasher type of deal. It's a really good movie, and it's kicking ass. So I was glad to see that. Couple of boys. Where are they from again? They're from the east of St. Paul.
I think that's what they said. I think it was Woodbury for one.
Was it Woodbury?
I think so.
It probably was.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Woodbury's got that. What the hell's the name of that golf course over there? I was talking about
Presswick.
Yeah.
Now I know I know for sure it was. I know for sure it was Woodbury because I remember us having a conversation about this golf course.
Yep.
Yeah.
And about how I sucked. Did we talk about that part?
I don't know if that's specific to just Woodbury, but.
Oh, that's how it's going to go today.
And I'm right there with you. Like 2 weeks ago, I picked up a golf club for the first time. And we played 9. And after about hole 3, I was like, you know what? I might just ride in the cart and watch you guys.
See, that's a typical urban dweller thing to do, whether it's him or me. I'll play my first round of golf in late October.
Yeah.
What?
I was like, I'm an athlete. I can do it. No.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
No, absolutely not.
Yeah, you don't want to do it in like May or, anything like. You got to go. Let's go just before Halloween.
Yep.
That would be wonderful. So Halloween is what, Thursday?
I think it's
Wednesday.
Oh, it's Wednesday.
And I'm already seeing,
holy God,
like this past weekend, there were already people out and about in costumes.
It is Thursday.
It is Thursday.
Yeah. Thursday. So all I ever do is kick into the high gear. Typical.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
you guys with your
we got to fact check AJ every once in a while.
Yeah. Is that what it is?
Yeah.
It's the 28th.
Spreading misinformation about Halloween.
October 28th. That's all. It's misinformation about Halloween. You guys celebrate Halloween when you were kids?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
We did too. Is it as big as it? Because there were a lot of little kids out there, but it was during the daytime trick or treating. But the kids go out trick or treating as much as they used to, or is it just too dangerous now?
I feel like the pandemic also played a role in that, just like not wanting to go like house to house, because I'm sure some people didn't want strangers that, who knows, kids being in school or whatever, what kind of germs they got. And then sometimes the mix of that with like, we don't really know our neighbors as much now anymore. Like I feel like as time has gone on, like it's less likely for somebody to get acquainted with who all their neighbors around them are.
Right. Oh,
so
yeah.
It's not as like
friendly,
friendly of a neighborhood in the sense of like it's not that family community type of thing.
Yeah. I understand that. No question. Mike, I need you to do me a favor. When we come to come out of this break and come into the next one, we're going to have Phil on to do some sports. disagree with everything he says.
Okay, got it.
Thank you.
This will be fun.
No, you're wrong. It was nowhere near that good. We'll be right back, ladies and gentlemen. Phil will join us to be ridiculed by this entire show. Does thinking about retirement make you uncomfortable? Sometimes the anxiety from wondering if you've saved enough can be overwhelming. You know that. But what if I told you you could ease those tensions in just 48 minutes? My guy, Josh Arnold, Mr. Money Talk, can sit down with you and get you on the right track for your financial future. Josh has navigated it all when it comes to uncertain market and economic conditions, and he'll always provide straight talk, never sugar-coated advice on how to reach the finish line with your retirement goals. Don't let your financial worries give you an ulcer. I never had an ulcer. You guys had an ulcer? Anyone?
Nope. Doesn't sound fun.
It does not. There's a hole in my stomach. Oh, great. Perfect. I keep you from calling Josh right now. Don't let it do that. His 48-minute no-obligation consultation could be just what you need to feel better about your future. So just call Josh Arnold today. He's a good, fun. I just called him fun. I can't lie to her. He's not fun. I love the guy. He's a good friend of mine, but he's not fun. I mean, let's be honest.
Yeah, he writes his own ads.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Investment services offered by Josh Arnold, investment consultant, 952-925-5608. That's 952-925-5608. All investments involve risk. All comments and opinions are Josh Arnold's, do not constitute investment advice. I am a paid endorser.
When you need someone to listen, a lawyer you know and trust.
If you've never been in an auto accident, it's hard to know what to expect from the insurance adjuster. Here are some tips. 1, if they talk to you about whether or not you should hire a lawyer, it's a good sign that you probably should. 2, it's illegal for them to give you any legal advice. They aren't lawyers and they aren't licensed to practice law. 3, if they tell you that everyone involved in the accident is at fault, they're wrong. This comes from the belief that you're at fault for just being on the road. That's nonsense and not supported by any law. Finally, remember that friendly adjusters are often just gaining information. They want you to do most of the talking so they can file their report. I'm Mike Bryant from Bradshaw & Bryant. I hope you're never injured in a collision. But if you are, don't sign anything until you've talked to us.
Find Bradshaw & Bryant, personal injury attorneys at minnesotapersonalinjury.com.
Seeking justice for the injured. Bradshaw & Bryant.
Let us take a second to talk about my bank. That'd be North American Banking Company in Bilski. Look, there's no shortage of banking options in the Twin Cities. You know that. If you're tired of just being a number to your big national bank, be sure to talk to my friends at North American Banking Company. Again, I don't call people my friends if they're not my friends. I will not do that. And, it's tough for me to admit that Bilski's a friend of mine, but I got to do it. You know what I'm saying? They offer the same online and mobile banking options as other banks, but with the unparalleled service of Community Bank. I also like being able to go to any of their 6 Twin Cities locations. Spend a lot of time at the one at 50th in France. But there's one in Roseville, Hastings, Woodbury, Shoreview, Maple Grove, and the one at 50th in France. So if you're looking for a better banking experience, why not bank with my friends at North American Banking Company? Go to nabanco.com to learn more. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
You're listening to the Tom Barnard Podcast.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, without a hat, it's Phil Mackie.
That's right.
What's happening, man?
Confident enough to revel in my baldness this morning. That's
revel
right.
In my baldness.
Yeah, there we go. Attaboy, Mike. Yes.
Mike's got her covered.
I'd give Mike the fist pound with my bald head, but we're not in the same studio here. So.
I'm not that hip.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. What is hip? Tell me. What was that band that did what?
Tower of Power, man.
Tower of Power. That's exactly. I love Tower.
Dude, I saw Tower of Power, one of my favorite bands. They were they go through like new lead singers every 3 years.
Why?
I don't know.
Why do they go through new lead singers every 3 years?
I don't know.
Because the previous ones were put in prison. That's why.
Well, well, that's fair.
It's true. I'm not kidding. I used to cover Tower of Power when I was in the record business, and they were a good band, but they could go to prison.
Yeah.
I will tell you.
But they once every 3 or 4 years, they'll play Dakota downtown, and they'll just do 2 nights in front of a couple of hundred people, melt your face off with, 10 horns. Pretty fun show.
Oh, God. Tower of Power is one of my favorites of all time. So very hard to go, man.
You're still a young man, Tom.
You're still a young man, baby. I love it when the guy starts talking, too. Hey, now, baby. I love it when you do that stuff. All right. And now, ladies and gentlemen, Phil Mackie with the sports, even though we didn't play any over the weekend, which means we didn't lose in Minnesota.
That's right. That's right. Well, the Gophers, even with the rare blowout, easy victory.
Yeah.
I don't know what's happened. The funniest thing that happened in the sports world for my money this weekend was twofold. It was the Chicago Bears getting beat on a Hail Mary at the end of the Washington Commanders game.
Yep.
And not only that, but some great video surfaced from like fans in the stands. So the Bears score a touchdown. The Commanders I think the Commanders were at their own like 40-yard line or something. And it's just a Hail Mary to go. And one of the Bears cornerbacks, who was supposed to be back guarding the end zone, right?
Yep.
There's fans with their camera phones.
Oh, no.
He's turned around taunting and gesturing. And so he's doing this. The ball is snapped. And you see behind, it's the greatest video of the year in the NFL. And you see 4 Washington receivers sprinting down the field. He still has his back turned, by the way. And he finally turns around as the receivers were coming into the end zone, and he kind of runs over. They would have been better off if he just stayed taunting Washington fans, because he comes into the play late, jumps in the air, the ball tips off his hand over the pile, caught for a Hail Mary touchdown.
God.
That right there might have been a top 10 moment in Vikings history, watching the Bears soil themselves to that extent. Hilarious.
Yeah, it was a lot like, the Sean Payton doing the skull clap to taunt the Vikings, and then we get the Minneapolis Miracle, or anytime you see like a marathon runner put their hands up before they cross the finish line. So yeah, the early celebration, not advised.
Yeah.
I never had to worry about putting my hands up as the first guy across the finish line.
No.
Oh, no.
It was not much of a concern for me. Hey!
I had to worry about them sticking around long enough for me to finish.
Yeah, exactly right.
The sweeper, yeah.
The sweeper, no question. So I don't know. It was interesting. That's all I have to say. The Vikings got some time off.
That player, by the way, so he's embarrassed. He put a note out to the public on social media saying, "Hey, I will learn from this. I will get better, and I will do better next time." Well, buddy, your team just blew a 60-yard Hail Mary because we don't need you to get better next time. I think they'll figure it out without you next time. Be better this time, dude. Figure it out.
Did you see the video? You were talking about the Gophers a minute ago. Did you see the video of Goldie Gopher dressed up in Halloween costumes?
It's funny. I was at the game like 2.5 drinks in, trying to squint. Like, is Goldie changing costumes every quarter, or what's happening?
I saw him dressed up as Deadpool in one shot, but
yeah, he was Deadpool. I think he was dressed up as a trombone at one point. I don't know. It was quite the afternoon for Goldie might have been getting into the seltzers when the Gophers were up 21-0.
You think?
Could have been,
God, how great would that have been? I actually saw one time, and I don't think it was one of you guys who told me about it. Apparently, a couple of the mascots got in a fist fight a few years ago. Do you remember that?
No, that's... You know what? That'd be a great way to spice up some of these bad sporting events. When it's like a 28-3 in the third quarter. All right, let's go get the Michigan State Sparty guy, and he's going to face off against Bucky the Badger. We're going to bring an octagon out to midfield and just clear everything out.
But I have a question. How much are you going to hurt me when I got a head on this big and you're punching it? That's not even hurt. Who cares?
Yeah, it's a lot like the football fights where they're punching each other in the helmet.
In the helmet,
like, right,
hockey too, man. You got like the face guard, and
well, they at least will like tear the helmet off, and next thing you know, somebody's got their jersey over their head. Those fights are a little bit more vicious, I think, than other sports fights.
I did see a great video of it was like Disney World or Disneyland like a week ago, and whoever was playing Mickey Mouse was trying to. They like went behind the bushes and took the Mickey Mouse hat off so they could just rip a quick cigarette during their 15-minute break.
Nice.
But people saw someone dressed from the neck down as Mickey Mouse ripping a heater, and they were recording it.
Oh, Mickey, what are you doing, man? I got a tip since Mike's wearing his North Stars jersey. I got a tip from Louis Nanny one time about hockey fights. Said all these guys throwing punches at the head. They got masks on. They got helmets. Doesn't do shit. So the best thing you do is reach right around just above the belt line and pinch the piss out of them right there. because it's the only vulnerable spot on their body if they're wearing those uniforms. So you know where to harm them next.
Just
time.
like just grab their love handle and squeeze it. Is that what
because you can't hurt them anywhere else.
Could you get up underneath the edge of the shoulder pad and give them a little nipple twister? Something like that?
Maybe that's a possibility.
I thought he was going to go with like give him a throat chop or something like that.
That's only after we're in the bar for quite some time.
One of the other cooks on the submarine I was on, he was from California, and in high school he worked at Disneyland in Anaheim.
Ooh.
And he wore the Pluto costume.
Oh God!
And he said second shift was the worst after somebody else had it on for 8 hours. But he said no matter how bad people picked on you, you weren't allowed to say anything.
Oh no!
I mean, you're getting kicked in the nuts and you're getting all kinds of stuff, and it's like Pluto's taking a timeout right now, but.
Pluto. So wait, so you don't get your own Pluto costume? So someone else mouth breathes in that thing for 8 hours, and now it's your turn to put the Pluto thing on.
Middle of the summer, just 90 degrees outside, sweating, like you're saying, hot breath, hungover from the night before, and now you got to come in and work your 8-hour shift. Never.
Okay, question.
Mm-hmm.
You check for the bacon strip inside the costume first before you put her on? Because I ain't putting that thing on because of bacon strip. No way. Right?
No. And what happens if you have to go, your stomach's rumbling.
Right.
Can you just stumble into a public bathroom with your Pluto costume?
I don't know.
You can't break character and you just squat it out right in the lava.
Right there. Right there.
Is there a trap door in the back? There has to be.
Oh my God.
I've seen Disney in Japanese before too, because we were stationed in San Diego, like 90 miles from Anaheim. Never went to that one. In 1985 on Westpac cruise, we went to Tokyo Disneyland.
Oh, Tokyo! I heard that's nice.
It's pretty much an exact copy of the one in Anaheim.
That's what I hear.
But you got the Country Bear Jamboree in Japanese. That's a little confusing, but
I could see that. I could see that being a problem.
So I have a dumb question. How many outside of, you said Tokyo, right? How many Disney properties, like how many Disney Worlds or Disneylands are out there? Do we have, like, is there one in Russia? Like,
there's one in Paris.
Yeah, right? Euro Disney.
Euro Disney's in Paris, I think. Okay. I don't know. I've never been.
Looks like there's 12.
12?
Iceland, Disney?
Florida, California, Tokyo, China, Hong Kong. Yeah, there's a Disneyland, a Disney Sea that's in Tokyo.
Okay.
So yeah, France, quite a few. Amsterdam
have a Disney?
No.
No Amsterdam Disney? Okay.
Damn.
It's on the red light district, yeah.
No, I didn't see one there.
Instead of a cigarette, it's Mickey's with his head off, just ripping a blunt.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly it. So what do we as Minnesota fans have to look forward to? We have a game this weekend, I'm assuming. Do we have any chance of winning that game?
So, Vikings and Colts this weekend. So it'll be Sunday Night Football. They flexed it to a primetime game.
Oh, okay.
And this is the most the Vikings have been favored by all season, 7 points, which is probably bad news when the expectations get high.
Yep.
But the good news is, if the Colts start Anthony Richardson, who they drafted like 4th overall a couple years ago, he is one of the 5 least accurate quarterbacks in the history of the modern NFL.
Why
Look at Tom.
Do that to me? Oh God, I almost to death.
And he at one point yesterday, he subbed himself out of the game during a drive, and people were like, "Is he hurt? What happened?" And Joe Flacco came in, the 40-year-old backup, put his cigarette down and came in the game, And so reporters asked him after the game, Anthony Richardson, what happened? You just came out of the game. What happened? He goes, I was tired. He goes, I was running around, and it's like, okay, football players definitely get tired, but it's not like hockey where we need a line change here. Usually you stay in the game, and then when the drive is over, you get to rest for like 5 or 10 minutes.
Yeah.
He subbed himself out of a game in the middle of a drive because he was breathing heavy. So, yeah, I think the Vikings should win on Sunday, but it's the Vikings, so you never know.
I know. And isn't that the truth of my entire life since I was, 6 years old, something like that. I think they were when the Vikings kicked her into 6, 7 years old, something like that. I still can't find one moment's peace at the end of a Viking season. We have never, ever had a peaceful end to a Viking season.
The Vikings have been the bacon strip in your Pluto costume for 6 decades.
You're playing like a bacon strip. We should banners to the game. Bacon strip Vikings.
We should. I like that.
Sell
some T-shirts. Let's make it happen.
Some T-shirts. Exactly. Well, they're going to have, I don't know. Jesus, they go 5-0, then they're 5-2, then can they beat anybody? Oh, they're going to beat everybody. It's like the typical Viking year. The Vikings always look like they're going to be wonderful, and they never are.
And shame on us, typical fans too in media. We love to ride that same roller coaster, the hype train up, and then we destroy them on the way down. But then it's not as bad as we thought, and now they're going back up a little bit. Yep.
Mike, are you a Viking or a Packer fan?
I grew up watching the Packers, but
I thought, yeah.
we lived in get this, Tevin, Polk County, Wisconsin, in Milltown. I lived.
Okay,
so we were arch enemies in school, Unity and Osceola.
Oh, I'm familiar.
But do you know Arvid Mackey?
Yeah, that was the athletic director.
He's my cousin.
Really?
Yeah, but he's the only one named Arvid I ever knew. But no, we lived in Milltown, and we got all the Twin Cities TV stations, obviously. So the Packers sucked when I was a kid. I mean, 4-12. It's like, let's just beat Chicago and Minnesota, and we'll call it good, right? I mean, I remember a 14-game season. I'm old enough to remember a 14-game season. Yep. And my dad always said, if I raise the antenna up another 15 feet or so, we could get the Eau Claire station. Never did. So we got to watch the Packers. We got to watch the Packers on TV twice a year when they played Minnesota, or once in a blue moon when they were on Monday Night Football. Other than that, you got the Packers on the radio and the Vikings on TV, and you're praying for highlights from the Packer game during the Viking game, but
won a Super Bowl or two, didn't you?
Yeah.
Okay. There we go.
Nice.
Yeah, I love how Packer fans like it was kind of dark for us for 6 years in the 70s, but outside of that, Super Bowls in the 60s, 30 years of quarterbacks. The last, it was probably 10 years of darkness, I guess, in the 70s.
One of my great moments as a teenage boy was I went over to 1500 KSTP to play the religious tapes, whatever. That's how I started in radio.
Yeah, to play them backwards. Yeah.
Playing backwards because you're in Polish. But other than that, but I ran into Paul Hornung over because I think he was doing radio. Who the hell was he doing radio with back then? I don't even remember.
Well, he was like he was doing Vikings games.
Yeah, that's what. He was. Mm-hmm. But to walk in as a teenage boy and see Paul Hornung, I'm like, oh my God, I thought I was in football heaven.
Yeah,
he's a hell of a player, man. That guy was a hell of a player.
He's one of those guys too, where if you look at him for 3 seconds and you don't know who this person is. What did they do for a living? And you would probably say football. That's a football guy right there.
Yes, absolutely right.
Mangled hands. Yeah.
The whole shooting match. But it's been just a wonderful, what is it now? Like a 60-some year run with the Vikings, never having won the championship. But other than that, well, they did win the NFL championship at the beginning, but then the AFL champions beat them. So,
Yeah, so it was during the Super Bowl era, so it's an NFL championship, but it wasn't a Super Bowl championship, so it technically doesn't count, unfortunately.
No, it doesn't count at all.
I mean, it counts as like a semifinal win, but we didn't win. We didn't win the whole thing.
No, we did not.
And here we are.
And here we are. But of course, Bud got his chance to come in and sell his wares everywhere. And I was the first person that I never cared for him. And to say that in the state of Minnesota that you never cared for Bud Grant.
Yeah. Every time Tom says it, even now, a hush falls over.
It does. You're absolutely right.
He doesn't like Bud Grant. What?
I met Ray Nitschke in La Crosse once at the brewery when Highland.
No.
Yeah.
Nitschke at a brewery? Whoever.
My hand fit in the palm of Ray Nitschke's hand. And what a nice man. He was letting little kids wear one of his Super Bowl rings and take pictures with him and stuff like that. And
they wear it on their wrist. It's fingers about that big.
Yeah, my hands aren't super big, but they're not small. But Ray Nitschke's hands were half again as big as mine.
Oh yeah.
Someday, a former Viking will allow a child to wear his Super Bowl ring, but we're gonna need to wait a little longer. I feel like
it's gonna be a while.
It's gonna be a while.
Yeah. Are you talking wait till next year already?
Yeah, let's be honest.
Well, there's a good closer for you, Palomino. We kept you long enough, and then you close with a big home run. I like it.
But I think they're going to beat the Colts on Sunday, so there's
I think so, yeah.
We'll micro dose some optimism here.
Well, we'll talk to you again on Friday to lead us into that victory.
You got it. Yep, I'll have my Helga horns on proudly.
Thanks, Bill.
All right, see you guys.
Notice I called you Pill instead of Phil.
I caught that, Tom.
All right, Phil, we'll talk to you later. Ladies and gentlemen, owner Tim Bloom and his staff at EcoFun Motorsports in Forest Lake and Burnsville specialize in quality, affordable scooters, mopeds, youth ATVs, motorcycles, electric bicycles, ATVs, go-karts, and side-by-sides for the Twin Cities area. EcoFun Motorsports offers premier brands such as, it says Bentelli here. Is that supposed to be Benelli?
I think it's Benelli.
Because it says Bentelli, but I think they're talking about Benelli. I'm hoping. But just in case, and the Bentelli too. Just for the hell of it. Lance, Kawasaki, Moto Guzzi, Scoot Star, Yamaha, Vanderhall, Vespa, and Wildside, among many others. You already looking for early holiday deals to take advantage of? Well, visit EcoFun Motorsports, the premier outdoor recreation playground in the Twin Cities, and take advantage of their unbelievable Yamaha electric bike sale. This is going on now through November 4th. God, I can't believe November 4th is like a week from today or something, isn't it? I believe that's true. Owner Tim Bloom says this is the biggest deal he has ever been a part of in his 17 years in the motorsports business. These are high-quality Yamaha designed and built bikes that need to get sold ASAP. Buy the Yamaha CrossCore RC electric bike, ideal for bike trails, sidewalks, and roads. MSRP is $2,999. It is currently on sale, though, for $1,199, plus freight, setup, and tax. Buy a full suspension off-road Yamaha YDX Moro electric mountain bike. Original MSRP of $4,799. On sale now for, again, $1,919. Now through November 4th. Or buy the race version, the Yamaha YDX Moro Pro electric mountain bike. It's original MSRP of $5,499, but it's on sale now for just $2,199. Both models come with a free second battery and a 5-year warranty. Colors and sizes are on a first-come basis, so hurry into EcoFun Motorsports today in Forest Lake or Burnsville to get your Yamaha electric bike now before they're gone. Visit EcoFunMotorsports.com and tell owner Tim Bloom that Tom Barnard sent you in.
The past several years have been the craziest in the history of the car business. The pandemic, supply chain, and chip issues all causing extreme inventory shortages that led to, well, predatory pricing. Some dealers charge thousands of dollars over MSRP.
We never played that game. I'm Jim Paul of Alley Buick GMC. We knew that would leave a bad taste in a customer's mouth. More importantly, from an integrity standpoint, it was just wrong.
So what about the current market? You know, inventory and pricing.
Valley has their best inventory in years. Really all the Buick and GMC models. Even the previously hard-to-find Yukons, HD pickups, and Hummer EVs. Plenty of deep discounts. Many with factory rebates and low-interest financing.
Then it's a good time to buy?
It's a great time. We're welcoming our previous customers back, as well as anyone else that felt the treatment just didn't feel right the last time somewhere else.
Valley Buick GMC in Apple Valley and Hastings or valleycardealers.com. Car buying without the bad aftertaste.
Mike Lindell of MyPillow employees want to thank my listeners for all your continued support. When Mike started MyPillow, it was just a problem solution, one product company. Well, since then, they now have hundreds of products. Some you may not even know about. For example, the brand new 4-pack dish towels, just $25. 6-pack towel sets, $25. Bed sheets for as low as $25. Check out their overstock and closeout sale and save up to 80% off select items. You're looking for a good night's sleep? Take advantage of the classic collection on a variety of MyPillows for as low as $9.88. These amazing offers won't last long, so order now. Just go to mypillow.com or call 800-516-5146 and use promo code TOM.
This is the Tom Barnard Podcast. Listen live weekday mornings 8 to 9:30 or anytime you like as a podcast on the Tom Barnard app at tombarnardshow.com or wherever you get your podcasts.
Channel 5's Chris Egert, brought to you by Mr. Money Talk, Josh Arnold. Call Josh today for your free 48-minute evaluation at 952-925-5608. You don't look very happy today. What's that crabby look on your face?
I think it's a lighting. I'm not crabby.
Big baby. Oh, it is the lighting. It's crabby. Dark in there. Why is it so dark?
Yeah, it's weird. Every time I come in here, somebody rearranges this room. I don't know. Listen, I got I got no time for this. I mean, I have time for the podcast, not to redecorate every time I sit down here. Hi, Mike, by the way.
Hey, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
Not too bad. Just
good.
Checks in the mail, Tom. But
yeah, checks in the mail.
I just figured I'd come and sit in and see how they do radio and podcasting in the big city.
Ooh.
Nice. Where are you from?
La Crosse.
Cross? Nice.
But I'm originally from up north. I went to high school in Balsam Lake and stuff like that. So
gotcha. Well, good to have you here.
Thanks.
Look at that, Egert being nice to somebody. That's the first time it's ever happened in 2 years.
Stop it. I'm nice to him.
Usually just gets on here and screams at people.
John Bernard, would you pick up the pace?
You know what? You know what's weird about radio and stuff? Hardly anybody looks like how they sound.
No, that's very true.
Except for Gelfand. Gelfand looks exactly.
He looks exactly like he sounds.
And that's not a slam or anything. No. But a lot of radio people. I remember being a kid at the state fair and Howard Vikings on the air because Dad had to always stop at the CCO booth at the fair, and that's Howard Viking, that bald guy with the sunglasses
sure.
on.
Absolutely.
It's like hardly anybody in radio looks how they sound.
That's pretty much true. That is pretty much true. But Egert, of course, he appears on TV on hour by hour basis.
Yeah, I'm on TV more than anybody should be, so that's fine.
So what's going on in the news today, Palomino?
I don't know if you guys started following this at all. I think the news came out on Friday. It's a long story, but there was some kind of neighborly dispute in Minneapolis between this guy and a neighbor, and it's gone on for like a year. And the guy who moved into the neighborhood tried to follow the proper protocols and get the police to come out because he felt that this dude who was the neighbor was like threatening him and being aggressive. And so they went on all this whole thing for months and months and months and months. And apparently the police could never or did never get involved to the point of doing anything. And I think last week, Wednesday, the guy was out cutting a tree down in his yard and the neighbor just like shot him right in the neck, like right.
Oh, wow. And
so after that happened, they apparently still couldn't arrest the guy. We've got it on our website. I know the Star Tribune has done some pretty, Paul Walsh, who's one of the writers for the Star Tribune, has done a good job talking about it too. It's the wackiest thing. Well, anyway, they arrested the dude overnight, like at 1:00 this morning. The conspiracy theory side of me says, yeah, they felt they were pressured to finally go get the guy because this all came out in the news that it'd been going on for months. And I don't know that, but I know the police chief was out there. The mayor was out there. It did not look good for Minneapolis police. And I don't think it still doesn't look good for Minneapolis police. Like why it all played out like this.
God, a lot of gunplay. Minneapolis police search for suspects after triple shooting at homeless encampment. If anybody's dangerous, it's those homeless.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's a whole nother issue. That's been going on for the whole summer. And I would guess that the mayor and the chief of police will say, yeah, we're putting out fires all over the place. We only had so much time to invest in this neighborly dispute, which, rarely ever turns into something like what it did. But it's the guy survived, but he's messed up. Not, the whole thing's going to get, you will hear about that one for quite some time. I'm here to tell you.
Is that bald guy they showed a picture of in the Star Tribune? I think they showed his picture. And on TV, you guys showed it. Is that the same guy?
I don't think he was bald. He's a white guy, like maybe late 50s, had like strawberry blondish kind of hair. That's the suspect.
Well, the guy who shot his neighbor, the bald black man who shot his neighbor and killed him, that guy?
No, the black guy was the neighbor who moved in. The white guy's the one who shot him.
No, this is a different deal, though. This is a black guy who shot some people. So
I'm not sure what you're.
Well, there's so many shootings now, I can't even keep up with which one.
It's a fair point. It's a very fair point. There's a lot of crap that went on this weekend. So and it's
looking like it looks like SWAT had to get involved in this too, Chris.
Jesus.
Yeah, because they knew the dude was there at some point, but because he apparently had mental health issues and because they had a pretty good idea he was armed since he shot the neighbor, they had to be careful about how they went in. And I guess they were worried about bombs and booby trap and all kinds of crap. So but to me, the bigger story is, why was this allowed to go on for so long and then end up with a guy getting freaking shot in the spine or through the neck or, whatever it is? Like, why did it have to end that way when it seemed like there's pretty well documented? It was pretty well documented along the way that there was a problem brewing here. So,
yeah, I certainly understand that. This whole thing is just everybody with the guns and the shooting and the this. And aren't you, as you develop as a society, aren't you supposed to get less angry and less harmful and less murderous?
I think that's what ideally that would be how that would work, but it definitely doesn't feel like it right now, does it?
Did you ever have anybody pull a gun on you?
Implied gun.
Implied gun?
A couple different times.
Really?
Well, one time he showed it, but he didn't actually pull it out and point it at me. And the other time it was implied.
That he was going to shoot.
You? Yeah.
Yeah, it happened to me once too. And he actually put the gun to my head and then started laughing and walked away. Like,
not had that. That's a good way to.
Hilarious. Yeah, that's very, very funny, pal. You see the pee stain on my pants here? Did you see that on your walk away?
I'll tell you what, the dude who showed me his gun and was freaking out. A long story. I don't have time to tell it, but it was a misunderstanding. But I was like, whoa, what the dude?
Yep.
I was a customer going to his business, and his front door was open, but he apparently wasn't open for business yet. And so I walked in the store, and dude like freaked out. Yeah.
Well, why did he have his door unlocked if he was going to freak out? What the hell's the matter?
That's my point, but I wasn't really able to have a very rational conversation with him at that point either. Right?
I suppose that's true. Yes.
Let's talk about this a different time when you don't have your freaking gun pointing out of your waistband right now and your hand on the. Anyway.
How can you see my waistband from where you are? Oh, you're talking about somebody else.
Yeah. Well, that was an interesting report. I got Mike. Nice to meet you.
You too.
What was that? Is that your blowing us off speech?
I got to go.
I know you do.
Mackey talks too much.
I'll get back to him. Thanks, Chris.
Just kidding. Bye, you guys. Have a good day.
Analyze Chris Egert, brought to you by Mr. Money Talk. Josh Arnold. Call Josh today for your free 48-minute evaluation to 952-925-5608. Egert does a hell of a job, doesn't he?
Oh, yeah. I love Chris when he comes on the show.
A pro's pro.
First thing, what does he do? He welcomes the guest. Hey, Mike, how you doing? It's just the kind of guy he is.
Mm-hmm. His check's in the mail, too.
Oh, you sent him a check. I'm glad you should send him a check because he's just a wonderful man. There's no question. I'm being far too nice to him, aren't I?
Yeah, don't send checks to Chris. He makes enough money. He's that TV money.
Yeah, he's on TV. Yeah. Can you look at all those suits he's got?
Does Hannah make him split it with her? And
I think he should give Hannah like half his check.
Yeah.
I'm on board for that.
You half of it?
Yeah, half, because she probably carries the show. He doesn't really do too much.
I'd have to agree with that. Yeah, you're not going to get an argument from me on that one. We got to take a break because now we got Sandy coming on. Ooh. I mean, that's going to be very painful.
Hopefully you didn't mail him a check.
Yeah, buckle up, Mike. This is gonna be
buckle up, Mike. We shall be right back, ladies and gentlemen. Bob Sansevere will join us right after this. Does thinking about retirement make you uncomfortable? Sometimes the anxiety for wondering if you saved enough can be overwhelming. But what if I told you that you could ease those tensions in just 48 minutes? My guy, Josh Arnold, Mr. Money Talk, can sit down with you and get you on the right track for your financial future. Josh has navigated it all when it comes to uncertain market and economic conditions, and he'll always provide straight talk. Never sugar-coated advice on how to reach the finish line with your retirement goals. Don't let your financial worries give you an ulcer or keep you from calling Josh right now. His 48-minute no-obligation consultation could be just what you need to feel better about your future. Call Josh today at 952-925-5608. Set up your free 48-minute no-obligation consultation. That's 952-925-5608. Investment services offered by Josh Arnold Investment Consultant, LLC Security Investment Advisor. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. All investments must involve risk. You know that. All comments and opinions of Josh Arnold's do not constitute investment advice. I am a paid endorser.
Is that text you're sending so important that you missed your turn? Is that text you're sending so important that you ran the red light? Is that text you're sending so important you didn't see the ball coming onto the road or the child that followed? Hi, I'm Mike Bryant from Bradshaw and Bryant. When you take your eyes off the road for even 4 seconds, your vehicle travels 100 yards. That's the entire length of a football field. If you absolutely have to text, you need to pull off the road somewhere safe and do it from there. Texting and driving is against the law and can cause serious injury or even death to you and others. Now that is important. We hope you're never injured in a collision, but if you are, please contact us.
Find Bradshaw and Bryant, personal injury attorneys at minnesotapersonalinjury.com.
Going farther with Mike Bryant on your side, seeking justice for the injured. Bradshaw and Bryant.
I'm talking with my friends Michael Bilski and Brad Huckle of North American Banking Company. Guys, business owners have had to deal with a lot over the last few years, haven't they?
They sure have, Tommy. We pride ourselves on being able to help our customers with the challenges they face.
Our business bankers are experts and are always ready to help our customers capitalize on opportunities and solve problems.
Loan decisions come quickly because they're made here in the Twin Cities and not shipped out of state like at some of the national banks in town.
This allows our customers to expand their businesses with confidence, knowing that they have our team of experts in their corner.
Okay, so now you give me this big thing at the end. Way to go.
Well, you are the professional.
Oh, I forgot. Look, I know Brad and Mike, and I trust them with my banking. They've personally delivered on everything they've just said. So why not bank with my banker? North American Banking Company, a better banking experience, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
This is the Tom Barnard Podcast.
I was talking to Mike about old friends like Chad Hartman and God, who's the other guy you mentioned? I hated him. Who was it?
Joe Souchere?
Souchere, yeah. No, Joe's a great guy too. Joe is well, the first when I took this spot, Joe called me up right away, invited me on the show. He's just a great guy, a really good guy, as a matter of fact. Unlike most radio people, you know. No, actually, I got to be honest with you. Other than Bob Sansevere. Oh, wait a minute, Bob's on? No. So yeah, I gotta claim that Bob's even a good guy. Ladies and gentlemen, Bob Sansevere Sports is brought to you by Bradshaw and Bryant, personal injury lawyer seeking justice for the injured. Contact Bradshaw and Bryant at minnesotapersonalinjury.com. What's up, Sandy?
Well, let me say hello to Mike. I was going to completely blow him off till I heard Egert said hello to him.
You're right, Tom. He does yell.
He does. He yells.
Yeah. Mike, back down, all right? Just settle down.
Back off.
Yeah, I noticed that when I was waiting. You've got your North Stars sweater on.
Sweater. It's got the fighting strap in the back too. It's more authentic and stuff. I want to have Jack Carlson's name put on the back.
A fighting strap?
Yeah.
What is
So it's an elastic band that you're supposed to hook over a loop in your breezers so that when you do get in fights, you can't have it pulled up. It's actually I think it's a game misconduct if they find out on the ice that you don't have that attached.
Now, Mike, is that authentic or just sew it on yourself?
Well, my brother and I have been fighting since he was born in 1966. So yeah, it's authentic.
Very nice. That's impressive because a lot of people get the knockoffs.
Well, I had a knockoff, but that died underneath my Vega on the ice in Bone Lake. It blew underneath and the muffler killed it. So I went for an authentic one after that. So.
Very nice. See, you know what? Old school is much better than wearing a silly Wild, shirt.
I don't really dig that the Wild have taken some of the North Stars colors like that. It's like you're the Wild and the North Stars are the North Stars. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It's a good way to go. So I got to ask all of you, did any of you watch the end of the Bears game?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Phenomenal. This cornerback. But Tyreek Stevenson, he's over on the corner when the play is going on, yelling to the crowd, mocking them. And that, you know what? He should have stayed there because he's the one who tipped it up to be caught. because he ran over fast, jumped, and he's the one that hit the ball up in the air. What a great play.
Mike was talking about the fact that he was not paying attention to what he was doing while they were kicking off.
He did. That was him too?
No, that was the sports guy.
Yeah,
Phil.
Yeah, like
Phil.
As the
it was Phil talking about it. That's right.
Yeah,
Okay.
before the play, like you're saying, Bob, he's kind of taunting and everything, but then the play is like happening, and then he kind of turns around, and is like, "Oh shoot! Like I gotta scramble over here," and now he's tipping
That's
the ball.
exactly right. It was terrific though. The whole sequence was great to see, and that Jane Daniels got a little bit of an arm on him.
Yeah.
Well, he like backed up. He had to scramble a little bit, and they on the broadcast were like, "Well, it's getting longer now." So he's back at his own 30, and then he finally stepped into it. But he got it down there, Bob. Like that was an arm. Like he really showed that.
I mean, it was 52 yards from the line of scrimmage, and he was not near the line of scrimmage.
No.
And these guys, these Bears, this is the downside of only rushing. What did they have? 3 or 4 guys rushing?
I think they only rushed 3.
Yeah.
Nobody had a shot at him because they thought that maybe they could, but they needed somebody to close on him, and there was nobody to do it because everybody was deep. But they need, as Eberflus, they need to box out. Yeah, okay.
All right.
And the 2 best things about yesterday were that and the fact that Aaron Rodgers gets the coach fired, gets his favorite receiver, and he still can't win a game.
Ooh, there you go.
Loses to the Patriots. Ugh,
Is
that
he
was
as
fun,
big a
too.
prick as he seems to be?
Yes.
That's
I
what
believe he
everyone
is.
says. He's just the biggest prick ever.
There's got to be something in the water in Green Bay because Brett Favre went nuts after a while.
That's true too. Yeah.
He just went nuts. Everyone still liked him. That was the difference.
Yeah.
Bart Starr never went nuts. He was great.
I still think Bart Starr's the most popular quarterback in Packer history, bar none.
Oh, God.
You go to Green Bay, they're mad at Favre for skipping town and all the financial stuff, and they're mad at Rodgers, like you said, for being a prick and stuff like that. But you can't find anybody in Green Bay that's going to badmouth Bart Starr.
He did win them 5 NFL championships, including 2 Super Bowls. That might have played a role in it as well. Those were legendary teams.
Isn't that amazing? That town. How many people live in Green Bay, Wisconsin?
So right around 100,000. It's not very big.
Isn't that amazing? They have one of the best football teams in the history of the NFL in a town of 100,000. Well, we had the Duluth Eskimos back in the day, though.
Yeah, but they didn't last. They only were around a few years. It was just a great name to remember.
It was.
In Green Bay, that was my favorite NFL city to go to because you can get anywhere in it. You know what I mean? It's not like
from all the shops to eat. Is that what you're talking about?
All the actually, they had many frozen custard places.
I knew it. I knew it had something to do with food.
And I never went to a Culver's there. It was Storeheim's was my place to go to. My go-to custard place. Okay. But yeah, but I always liked Green Bay, going to Green Bay for games. It was
That's what everybody says. They love Green Bay. Yep. I've never been there.
Yeah,
You're not missing much.
No,
to be honest with you. I mean, it's a great football. Go on a Sunday. It's a great football city, but I mean, the town itself is not. It's not a vacation destination.
Not a mecca.
No,
not a mecca.
Football, maybe.
But I like most of Wisconsin, though. Wisconsin's a nice state.
I did like though when I first started covering the Vikings, they would split the games in Milwaukee and Green Bay.
Yeah, I remember that.
I wasn't crazy about the Milwaukee trips.
Yeah,
the Green Bay ones they were enjoyable. They were fun,
except for Arts Performing Center. You like that part? I remember that.
What was that? Was that the strip joint?
I still have the Performing Arts Center, and right next door is Arts Performing Center, which is a strip club. That's amazing.
I remember you mentioned that once before.
I think that's hilarious.
Okay, other than that, yes.
I used to go to Milwaukee all the time to cut commercials for the Milwaukee's finest. To go over there and cut beer commercials all the time.
And now, because you mentioned the strip, does any of you know if in Mankato, because the Vikings obviously don't go there anymore, is Mettler's still around?
Listen to that,
Mike.
Mike nailed Mettler's right out of the box.
When I used to build cubicles, we did a lot of work at the hospital in Mankato.
Yeah, I'm sure.
And where they used to go for whores and whiskey on Little House on the Prairie was Mankato.
Whores and whiskey. Okay.
Well, that's where all the Hellraisers went on Little House on the Prairie, was all the big city of Mankato. But we stayed at the Holiday Inn right by Mettler's.
Oh, it's like right out the door. Right?
Yeah,
like
and they shared a kitchen with Chevy's Bar and Grill. So you could eat a T-bone steak right by the stage while you're watching the girl.
What? Oh, that's not bad.
No.
Yeah, and it's Mettler's Bar and Restaurant. They hide the strip club, but once you click into the website,
that's the deal.
It's apparent what they are, but it's still around. It's still around. Opens at 5 p.m. on Tuesday. So
every night it was packed with Vikings.
Oh God! We got Mike checking his watch, see when he can get down there.
I got to work at 10:30 tonight.
Oh, there you go.
It's not open till tomorrow.
You just roll off of work, Mike?
What's that?
Did you have a night shift last night, or are you off? Were you off last night?
I was off. I went bow hunting over by Grantsburg yesterday.
Ooh, Grantsburg! I like Grantsburg. It's a good
Grantsburg.
spot.
Did you go to the bar there, Tom?
No,
that's where all those.
I quit drinking. Halloween will be 9 years sober. So.
Well, good for you.
I learned to hate fun. So.
That's where all those guys. Remember when we'd go to Vegas? All those guys would come over from Wisconsin. Grantsburg is where they were from.
They were from Grantsburg. Yep.
Didn't one of the Flying Elvises from that
That's
movie,
them.
Yeah.
He owned the bar in Grantsburg.
Yep.
Well, they called themselves. They dressed up as Elvis a few times.
Yeah, the Flying Elvi. Yeah,
Flying Elvi. That's exactly. God, those were the days, man. That was I think the biggest time they ever had. We're in Vegas at an auditorium, and we sold it out, and there were like 6,000 people at those shows. You remember those, Bob?
Yeah, it was incredible. But there were some things that were great. One of them was when they thought the woman was bleeding out, and it was the big Statue of Liberty drink, wasn't it?
Yes,
red. She was throwing up. They thought she was like vomiting blood.
He was throwing up, and yes, they thought it was blood coming out of her yapper.
And then the woman famously known as Mosquito Bites, tackling guys in the aisle.
God, Mosquito Bite. I ran into her. Well, she's still working over at KSTP TV, isn't she?
No, she was never there. She actually was. She works in insurance.
Oh, that's right. Okay,
I know that because when we had the storm, and I didn't recognize her. She was one of the people who came over that had like the adjuster. It was great to see her again. She's wonderful.
Oh, that was a great crowd. There's no question about that, Bob. No doubt.
Well,
the one thing about that, bringing my children along when they were like 12 and 10, they were like, "What is this?" Because Dad's doing a radio show. They don't see 6,000 people at a studio. I mean, at a venue. It was a real shock to them.
Yeah. And then on top of that, just being in Vegas with all the flashing lights and the insanity that is the Strip.
And what did Andy do? This is such an Andy thing. My son, Andy, we're walking down the street and there's a guy handing out free passes to get into a strip club.
Mettler's.
Andy looked, it wasn't Mettler's, it was in Vegas. But Andy looks at it, throws it at the guy and goes, "I'm 12 years old." He's mad at the guy for showing him titty pictures.
Funniest thing I think I saw in Vegas, we're walking down the sidewalk. We had a couple of submarine reunions out there. Kind of tame little things. But this guy's holding a sign that said, "Kick me in the nuts, $20."
What? Ow!
Times are tough.
Can be.
Did you offer him all those singles you had for the strip club, Mike?
No. We found a chapel and had a little prayer meeting and stuff.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Now, Bob, I have to ask you: is the misery over for the Viking fans? Is it over for a while?
I don't think so, Tom, because Christian Darrisaw, the Darrisaw loss is they better make a move and trade for a left tackle because it completely changes the offense.
Yep.
Because if they don't bring in another, and it's going to be hard to get a really good tackle, so they may have to do this anyway. They're going to have to play two tight ends on every passing down to give him help, and that basically it'll be Munt or Oliver because you will get back Hawkinson, but you got to have a tight end there. Or, I mean, because what you don't want to do is have one of your backs always or not part of the passing attack. You know what I mean? You got to give him help because that's the blind side, and he'll get killed.
Bob, let me ask you a question.
Darrisaw was one of the best in the league.
Oh, there's no question about that. Bob, I watched that game, and it looks like that team had never played together before in their lives. They did nothing right in that game. What was that all about?
That 5-game or 5-day stretch, something happened. I'll tell you one thing.
No doubt.
It happened late last year, too. Teams have figured out Brian Flores.
Yes. Yep.
I mean, that's a problem. Yep. Big problem. Right?
Huge problem. They know what he's going to do every time.
And the other problem is, and again, all coaches make mistakes. I said it last week when we chatted. Why do you not just take a knee and go into halftime? There's 35 seconds left. You're at your 2. That's why Darrisaw got hurt.
Mm-hmm.
If you took a knee, you'd have him. We wouldn't even be talking about him.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I think this team, and maybe you're right, maybe it's Flores' deal, but I think it might be the head coach too. They got that they know what the Vikings are going to do before they do it.
It's somebody had posted, and it might be something to it, that that because he's one of these guys who scripts his first 15 or 20 plays.
Yeah.
After he gets off the script, things start to go. They aren't exactly great. I don't know. I mean, again, I'm not going to rip the guy because he did have him at 5-0, and he had the great, the great first season. But I just think he's still a young coach who needs to learn. He got schooled by his old mentor.
He did.
And that, he's fortunate that he's got Jefferson and that he has Aaron Jones. And I think Darnold, I do, at the beginning of the year, after they were 3-0 or so, I'm thinking, my God, maybe they should re-sign him just because he's going to go and get big money. I'm not convinced he will anymore.
No.
He certainly won't without Darrisaw. They're protecting his, his blind side, like I said.
God, why am I a Viking fan? Why did I do this to myself? Explain it to me.
You know what you should do? Become a Johnny's fan. They're undefeated and they're
I should.
You're in the nation. You're dropping down to D3, but it's good football. You would not be upset really for the last 60 years or more because when Velarde took over, I mean, they've won 4 national titles, own the MIAC pretty much. So you would be happy as a Johnny's fan.
Art Sears, who books all our guests for us, the national guests and all that stuff.
Did he book Mike?
No, his son goes to St. John's. They live in New York.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, but he goes to St. John's for that very reason because it's a very well-known college for their football program.
Well, not only that. Tom, have you been on campus there?
Oh yeah,
it's one of the nicest campuses in the country.
It certainly is.
My son went there for 4 years, played rugby, and it was great to just go and visit. Because, he didn't live on campus his last year, but I said, let's go to camp because I love going on campus.
Mm-hmm.
Very nice.
Why'd you make him pay for his own education, though? That was kind of mad.
You know why? Because I don't want him to feel entitled.
That's exactly why. That's the reason.
Yeah, that's the only reason.
It works for me.
What position in rugby did he play?
He was one of the defensive players. He played in the one of the back lines, and he actually, whenever he got the ball, he did really well because he had some speed, but he loved hitting people.
I was a hooker. I played in the middle of the front row during the scrum, so that might explain a little bit.
Yeah, you were in the middle of the front row. Those are guys that are banging heads.
The hooker, yeah.
He was. I don't know what in the scrum. I'm not sure. He was on the back end of the scrum. And
that'd be like the scrum half or the 8.
Where did you play rugby at?
What's that?
Where'd you play?
City side team in lacrosse.
And people don't realize how great a game that is to watch.
Oh, it's a fun game. Unless you're not in shape, then it's no fun. But
those guys, you do have to be in shape because there is some running. And Tom, they're not supposed to, just parts of the body they can't hit. But these guys, when they do hit, he had so many times that he had some nut crushing steps. People stepping on. They do. Mike, how many times you have your nuts stepped on?
They didn't quite get there, but I had some cleat marks on my legs. If you don't let go of the ball when you're on the ground after you get tackled, they'll rake you until you let go of the ball with their cleats. And you got eight metal cleats on the bottom of your rugby boots.
Oh, savage.
They're about like that. So
really,
you learn to let go of the ball when you get tackled. So
Mike, since you played, they actually have some plastic. They went to plastic cleats too. They're not all metal anymore.
Yeah, and they do the scrum differently now too.
And okay, I was watching because I watched football with my son Spencer's the one who played rugby, and when the guy when they do when the Eagles they do that, what do they call it when they
tush push
he goes a maul.
That's a maul. That's a maul.
What a maul is in rugby.
Yeah.
So anyway, enough rugby talk though for the. I think we're losing.
I find it interesting. I don't know anything about rugby at all. Not a lot of rugby in North Minneapolis when I was a kid.
We had friends come to watch, and they loved it so much. They went to there was one near where we live. They have a big rugby field. They wound up going to St. Louis to watch when they went to the regionals because they loved watching us so much. Yep, it's a fun sport.
High school rugby's growing too. There's a lot of high schools that have When I played, there was 93 rugby teams in Wisconsin alone.
That's a lot.
And I think there's more now, but
man,
there's only a handful in Minnesota. Not too many of them.
I wonder why that is.
Well, I'm not sure if what is the season for high school rugby? Is it the spring?
I'm not sure.
Because you can't be going up against football because those are the guys you want on the team.
No, right.
That's the problem.
Probably is spring then, I would guess.
I feel like it'd have to be, yeah, but then you're going to run into like baseball too, which
spring season begins in January, and then there's also summer leagues.
Spring in January in Minnesota. Good luck to you.
But you know who makes great rugby players? Wrestlers. Wrestlers make great rugby players.
Oh, okay.
I can see that.
Actually, one of the better players on my son's team was a wrestler. He's only like 5'5", 5'6", and he's tenacious. And okay, I got it. They all had nicknames, right, on the team.
Mm-hmm.
His nickname, and now keep in mind, you go to college, you could become anyone you want. But he came to the team and he introduced himself. My name's Meatball. Because he looks like a little meatball. Yeah, that's what he goes by. And his brother's name was Pork Chop. But he wanted him to call him Meatball. You could have been anybody. You could have been Stud Muffin if you wanted. Anything. But he stayed with Meatball. And he's a great kid and a hell of a rugby player. So, but I mean, wouldn't you think he'd go with something else?
What did you go with?
I didn't play rugby.
But did you ever have a nickname when you were a kid? Every kid had a nickname.
Well, my sister, when I was little, my cousins called me because this is what my sister called me when she was real little. She couldn't say Bob or Bobby, so she went with Booby.
Booby.
So isn't that kind of a Jewish name, Booby?
Yes, absolutely. No question about it.
So, and then do you want one more very quick nickname? How one kid got a nickname. His mother made the mistake of referring to her son because when he was little, this is what she called him, Peanut. Well, he became known as Peanut the rest of his career.
Peanut. Oh, little Peanut.
Hell of a player. I mean, really good player. But it's funny. Anyway, enough of that.
So do you guys have nicknames?
Nothing like Peanut or anything like that. Just kind of a standard T-Pit, whatever, lazy.
Oh,
name.
T-Pit. Yeah, T-Pit's pretty lazy.
Yeah.
That'd be T-Bar. That's boring as hell. Any nicknames? You two?
Some people just said Fred, just short my last name.
Oh, I suppose, yeah. That's really good. Yeah.
Well, I weighed 129 pounds when I graduated from high school, so it was Pee Wee, of course. And then my rugby nickname was Driftwood, and we used to inner tube down the main channel of the Mississippi on 4th of July.
Yep.
Drinking beer and whatever and
whatever.
By the time we got to Pettibone Beach and La Crosse, I was able to hang off the side of the boat, and Bruiser goes, "Oh, look, it looks like a little piece of driftwood hanging there." So that's stuck.
So driftwood.
It looks like Bruiser's name stuck too.
Yeah. Yeah. Old school nicknames are so much better than the new generations. We have no creativity, but yeah, back in the day, Driftwood and Pee Wee and Bruiser, those are when nicknames.
My son caught a big break because they all nickname guys on the team.
Yeah.
He had said when he first joined the team, we're a Catholic school. Why don't we do a prayer before we play? So his nickname became the Reverend or the Rev.
The Rev.
Not a bad one.
That's not
a Rev's not a bad one, you know. So
there was an unfortunate one on the way to Canada because one of the college guys was downing a fair amount of Jack Daniels, and we used to go play rugby in Thunder Bay, and he's hugging a tree, so he was tree hugger from the Jack Daniels, so that stuck. They call him tree hugger after
there you
that,
go.
So.
Not a problem. Remember my nickname, Bob?
Catman.
Catman, but there was another one before that when I was, I think, in 6th grade.
No, what was that one? I don't remember.
So I was in 7th grade at St. Anne's. Barnard, the last name, right? Well, Texaco, which used to be a bunch of gas stations, are not even around anymore, I don't think. Is there still Texacos?
Maybe in Texas, but I haven't seen one up here.
I think you got them in Florida too, but there hasn't been a Texaco up here in a long time. But they had a guy that did all the commercials for Texaco, and his name was Barney. Okay? Barnard, Barney, get it? And the problem is every commercial started. Now, you guys might be too young to remember this, but it used to be a little strip that you drive across, and it would alert the people in the building that you had pulled up to the gas tank.
Oh, okay.
The gas pumps, I mean. So they come out and pump your gas.
Mm-hmm.
So when you pulled over these things with the front tires and back tires, it would go doing, doing, like that.
Okay.
So because his name was Barney, my nickname for 2 years was Doing Doing. Thank you so much. Everywhere I went, Andy Fisher's whole family, including his mother and father, called me Doing Doing.
Doing Doing. That's a tough one.
They never shortened to just Doing.
Just Doing. Nope, it's always Doing. Hey, Doing Doing. What are you doing?
Well, hey, you know what? It's your fault because you answered to it, Tom.
Well, I did. You're absolutely right. I shouldn't have answered to
They
it.
said, "What's up, Doing Doing?" You said, "I'm just having a great day."
We're hanging out, having a great time with Doing Doinging it up. That's all I'm doing.
That's a story I've never heard you tell.
Yeah,
I'd remember
Doing
Doing.
Doing Doing. And then they used to do that too, by the way. They go Doing Doing every time I walked up to the house. It's like, thank you so much.
The Texaco guys they always advertised in the 50s and early 60s. They were the guys that wore the white outfits, right? To go, and like 5 of them would come out and take care of your car.
Yeah.
One would do the windows, one would gas it up.
Oh,
and,
yeah. There'd be like 5 people working on your car, man. Now there's nobody.
Yeah. I think Jersey, there might be Jersey and one other state
Really?
where I didn't know what was going on when I came to Minnesota. I'm sitting in my car and nobody's coming out to pump my gas. There was a place in Edina that pumped your gas. There was one place that did it, but I think you paid a little bit more for it.
Nothing wrong with that.
Makes sense in the winter to let somebody else pump the gas for you.
Sandy, another brilliant report, I thought.
Yeah, I bet.
What?
All right.
What's the negative comment for?
That's just me.
I was giving you a wonderful, wonderful amount of praise, and you just pissed all over it.
Well, sorry.
Hey, see you later, Doing Doing.
Yeah, bye, Doing Doing. I can hear it now. It's coming at me every day.
No, I'm not going to do that. I won't do that to.
No, but AJ is.
Yeah, he will. Of course, he will.
It's in the arsenal now.
Hey, we got to start the show, but Doing Doing's not here yet. That'll be great.
All right.
All right.
See you guys. See you, Mike.
See ya. Talk to you later in the week. Bob Sansevere
Right.
Sports brought to you by Bradshaw and Bryant, personal injury lawyer seeking justice for the injured. Contact Bradshaw and Bryant at MinnesotaPersonalInjury.com. We'll take a break. A lot more of the show coming up right after this. I'm talking with my friends Michael Bilski and Brad Huckle of North American Banking Company. Guys, business owners have had to deal with a lot over the last few years, haven't they?
They sure have, Tommy. We pride ourselves on being able to help our customers with the challenges they face.
Our business bankers are experts and are always ready to help our customers capitalize on opportunities and solve problems.
Loan decisions come quickly because they're made here in the Twin Cities and not shipped out of state like at some of the national banks in town.
This allows our customers to expand their businesses with confidence, knowing that they have our team of experts in their corner.
Okay, so now you give me this big thing at the end. Way to go.
Well, you are the professional.
Oh, I forgot. Look, I know Brad and Mike, and I trust them with my banking. They've personally delivered on everything they've just said. So why not bank with my banker? North American Banking Company, a better banking experience, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
When you need someone to listen, a lawyer you know and trust.
If you've never been in an auto accident, it's hard to know what to expect from the insurance adjuster. Here are some tips. 1, if they talk to you about whether or not you should hire a lawyer, it's a good sign that you probably should. 2, it's illegal for them to give you any legal advice. They aren't lawyers and they aren't licensed to practice law. 3, if they tell you that everyone involved in the accident is at fault, they're wrong. This comes from the belief that you're at fault for just being on the road. That's nonsense and not supported by any law. Finally, remember that friendly adjusters are often just gaining information. They want you to do most of the talking so they can file their report. I'm Mike Bryant from Bradshaw and Bryant. I hope you're never injured in a collision. But if you are, don't sign anything until you've talked to us.
Find Bradshaw and Bryant, personal injury attorneys at MinnesotaPersonalInjury.com.
Seeking justice for the injured. Bradshaw and Bryant.
I hosted my show on the radio for 40 years. Now I host the Tom Barnard Podcast. And I'll tell you, I've never seen the passion and engagement from our audience as I do now. I know we also have businesses that listen to our podcast, and it got me thinking, wouldn't it be great to help those businesses grow by telling my listeners about them? So here's the deal. If you own or handle marketing for a business, would like to have my audience buy your product or service, visit TomBarnardShow.com, keyword partner, and we'll put together an ad campaign to help your business. That's TomBarnardShow.com, keyword partner, and thank you for listening.
You're listening to the Tom Barnard Podcast.
We are back, ladies and gentlemen. Christian Bird Entertainment News brought to you by North American Banking Company. Go to nabanco.com to learn more. Member FDIC Equal Housing Lender. I've already been asked, so I have to ask you because we're only 3 days away. Some people, listeners, want to know if you're going to go as Catherine Brandt and Catherine Brandt's going to go as Kristen Bird for Halloween. KB1 and KB2.
That's a great idea, especially since we're in 2 different states.
Yes.
Nobody would know who I was. Nobody will know who she is. It would be perfect.
Well, just KB1, KB2. Close enough.
Exactly. So, no, I'm not dressing up for Halloween. Sorry.
I was trying to think the last time I dressed up. Well, I did we took the 2 almost 3-year-old out for trick-or-treating during the daytime on Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
And I did wear a hat that had spider legs out of it and 5 eyes on the front of it. So I did wear a hat. Nice. That was my whole costume.
I always pull out the kitty cat ears if I desperately need a costume because I do have sparkly cat ears and I just, draw on the nose and we're good.
Works for me. No question about it. I will tell you this. There's a good side and a bad side to what I'm about to tell you. Over the last 2 weeks doing things with the kids and all the rest of it, I've run into 32 people now at restaurants or out on the street trick-or-treating or whatever. 32 people came over, said hello, said, oh, man, I miss you on the KQ Morning Show and all the rest of it. And every one of them said, you think you'll ever get back on the air? I'm like, you do know I have a podcast. Like, oh, no, I didn't know that. Nice. Really makes me feel good.
I am telling you, Tom, you need to have a dedicated social media person who is pulling clips from the show every day and putting them on TikTok.
Who would that be?
You have to hire someone. You need to hire like a young Gen Z whippersnapper that is like entrenched in social media. And that'll put it not only on TikTok, but on Facebook and Twitter and everywhere. That's what you need to do.
Or
that's
maybe
how
the
the clips
company
go
could
viral.
promote the show. That's another idea. That's kind of wild and crazy, I know, but
And they will make you start appearing in your social media clips too.
Oh, Catherine's already doing that to me now. So we're starting to do.
But I'm telling you, with the trends, like you'll have to be doing some of the trends that are happening. And that is where you start hitting in the pop culture zeitgeist.
Okay, here's what I'm doing now. I'm asking you a question, and some people would, and don't be offended by this because I've known you for 12 years, but I've never met you in person. When you post things on social media, okay, do they comment on your looks?
No, I mean, only if I do. No, people, because I think like people know not to. You know what I mean? Like, unless it's like
all the time.
A red carpet photo. Like if I do a red carpet photo, people of course are going to be like, I love the dress, I love the hair, blah, blah, blah. But otherwise, I think people just kind of keep it to what's happening in the picture or the video or in the moment.
So why do they do that to Catherine? Just to piss me off? Is that what they do? Oh my God, you're so beautiful. It's like, shut up for Christ's sake. Because I have to put up with her for the rest of the night. Does your husband have to put up with the fact that people think you're attractive?
He has to live with me. That's just bad enough.
It's bad enough for the way it goes anyway. No, it's still, to this day, though, still, I suppose handsome men are the same way, though, but really good-looking women are still, guys love to point that out.
Yeah, well, I think it's more common with females, especially like as like female to female, they'll always be like, oh my gosh, you look amazing, you look stunning. Where like
queen, you are a queen.
I'm not going on. I'm not like spamming Tom's comments like, oh my gosh, yes, go off, Tom. That outfit slay this, No,
that baseball cap makes you look so sharp today.
Yeah, not a guy thing.
All right, leave me alone, both of you. Stop turning on me. That's all I have to say.
But I'm telling you, if you hire a social media person, like that's all their job is all day long, people will know you have a podcast.
Hubbard's job to hire a social media person?
I don't know what your contract and agreement looks like, but I'm just letting you know that is honestly, it's crucial for podcasts these days.
I might have
social media team
to him because you know what I mean. Anyway, moving on with reality.
Yeah, yes.
The
younger, the better, too. I am telling you on that one. You want.
Oh, I bet you're right about that. The younger, the better, because they get fired up about that kind of thing.
Yeah.
There's no question about that. So we had a couple of guys in studio last week. We had Adam and Brian in, and their movie was #1 on Netflix this weekend. That was great.
Yay, that is so exciting.
Don't
And we have a little button on the conversation that we had with them on Friday. We were talking about all California and the lack of production. Well, Gavin Newsom must have listened to the podcast. I'm sure that's what it was, because he had a big press conference yesterday in Los Angeles saying that he is upping the budget for our tax credits here in California.
Well, it's about time.
I know it's too late as what it really is. But it's currently at 330 million. It's going to go up to 750 million in July 2025. It's going to focus on TV primarily because only 1 in 5 scripted series are now filmed in Los Angeles. If you believe that.
1 in 5?
1 in 5.
Ooh.
And it's focus on TV, no reality. And here's the big thing that's going to be the issue. The tax credits cannot go to star salaries. I know we talked about like above the line and below the line. Currently, the tax credits only can come back for below the line, which means all of the crew and everything else. I mean, you can't get any tax credits on Meryl Streep's salary is what they're saying, which other states do offer, like Georgia. And that's where we're getting killed, to be honest. UK is doing it. No post-production. That's also where we get killed. You can't use the tax credits toward that. So people are saying it's not going far enough. This will give us a little bit of a catch up, but it's not going far enough if they want to beat what's happening in Georgia or the UK or even New York at this point. So
God, we have got to do something about this situation. You know, it doesn't really tie in directly, but I was told something over the weekend. And this is happening all over the United States. If you think the economy is really good and solid right now, I guess, and this is from managers of big, complexes and all the rest of it, I guess people by the dozens move out of their apartments and houses in the middle of the night because they can't afford them anymore. How sad is that you can't afford to live where you've lived for quite a while and you have to move out in the middle of the night because you don't have the money to give them? What are we going to do about that?
I think the big issue, and the economy numbers are saying one thing and the people are saying another. And I will just tell you that when you look at what's happening to people in their jobs, salaries have not kept a pace of inflation. And that's the bottom line. And that's where you have to go back to the corporations and everyone blames the president per se, but I'm like, why aren't we putting more pressure on the corporations that are paying people? Because if you look, I saw something on social media and it was astonishing. So Kelly Bishop, who some of you may know, she played Grandma Gilmore on the Gilmore Girls. She has a new autobiography out. And just to give you an idea, she started out in musical theater. She said, I had to go on the road because I was broke and I needed to make some money. So she went on the road with a chorus line and was making $515 a week in the early 70s. Well, actually, I would say it's probably like mid 70s. Okay. A lot of money at that time.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
An actress who played the same role as Kelly Bishop in a chorus line in 2018 was making $650 on the road. Same show, same role.
Yep.
So you can see that money has not kept a pace. It should be, like $3,000 a week if you kept a pace with inflation, what that dollar meant in the 70s to what it meant in 2018. So that's just kind of like a random explanation of where we've even seen it in the entertainment industry, but that just is at top of mind because I saw that this weekend and I was like, that's astonishing. You can't live on $650 a week.
No, not anymore. Well, Peter Falk nailed it back in the 70s. He was in a movie. I can't remember the name of the movie, but he's just sitting there and he's looking they're sitting at a diner and he looks at the check. He goes, oh my God, this is unbelievable. And his friend says, what's the matter? He goes, what the hell's the world going to be like when a 6-pack of Budweiser costs $1,200? Which we're getting there all time.
At the rate we're going.
At the rate we're going.
At the rate we're going. And and that's why we're seeing a lot of people exit the entertainment industry. It's just not feasible to work one show a year. And remember, it's not 22 episodes, it's 8 episodes.
8 now, yes.
Yeah. So, tech came in and disrupted the entertainment industry, and it was not a good thing.
Is anything, how are we going to get past all this? The fact that people have been underpaid now for literally like 35, 40 years because it gets more and more and more expensive. It is amazing how expensive the world has gotten.
And let's talk about AI that's coming in. It's coming in for everything, whether, we're talking about radio, whether we're talking about entertainment, journalism. I mean, it is coming for every single sector of the economy. And that's where I really raise a big question mark. That's where I go. It's really scary.
Yeah, I think one of the good things though, like, so music is one of the industries that gets hit by AI, and you'll see like, Drake released a song, but it's really an AI version of it.
Oh, really?
And people seem to be pushing back at anything because they still want that artistic kind of experience from the artist.
Human connection.
Yeah. So I hopefully that trend kind of sticks, whether it's movies and other forms of entertainment where, hey, we don't want to just see an AI actor on the screen. We want to have somebody that's actually putting that human connection into it.
Right. Oh, now I feel like crap because we've been talking about the economy.
Listen, let me tell you something that at least is uplifting. Something terrible happened, but something good is coming out of it.
Excellent.
Over the weekend in North Carolina, Luke Combs and Keith Urban, James Taylor, just Sheryl Crow, they came together to help the victims of Hurricane Helene and raised $24 million, because I feel like we just kind of moved on. I know we've got an election, we've moved on. That area is still struggling. And David and Nicole Tepper, who own the Carolina Panthers, I think it's the Bank of America Stadium. Yep. They donated everything. They donated the stadium, the food, the labor, all the costs for the night. They picked up the tab for that so that they wouldn't, all the artists wouldn't have to pay back all of that labor, and it would cut into the money raised. So at least $24 million is going toward, revitalizing people affected by Helene.
Oh, that's a tough road to hoe right there. I mean, honest to God, I don't know what we're going to do with all this stuff. I really don't. I mean, unless you're making the huge dough like you do, of course.
Right. You mean you?
Oh, the personal attack. I heard that. No question about it.
You're the fancy one, Tom.
I'm fancy. I'm looking down right now. I'm not too fancy because I just took a pull out of my Pepsi. And while I was talking, somebody said something. I look like I peed my pants.
Stand up and show us.
Oh, no.
Be
It's
humble.
literally this big. I'm going to have to go down to the men's room and wipe her off. I did. I spit the thing all over. Oh, God.
Do you have shout wipes in the studio?
I don't know. Do you have what wipes?
Shout wipes or like a Tide stick.
Oh, a Tide stick. I should need a Tide stick. Although Pepsi doesn't really smell that bad, does it?
It doesn't smell. It'll just leave that like weird stain.
Brown.
I honestly like the best thing to have for your on-set kit is a shout wipe or a Tide stick, because I promise you'll spill something. So
why did they make me laugh in the middle of the show? Damn it.
He sprayed Diet Pepsi all over it.
I mean,
damn near.
Well, and plus the fact you got the thing up to your mouth, so when you go this, you take it away, it's like, yeah.
You missed your mouth? Is that what you're saying?
Oh my God. I'm not kidding you. It's got to be like 6 inches wide.
What do you have to do after this besides the family show?
The family show. After this, I have to take this. See this right here? And hold it up in front of my pants so I can go to the men's room and try to wipe it off.
I was going to say, do you have to go places or be seen in public otherwise? Or can you go home and change?
Yes, I have an interview to do at 11:30. So I better be able to get this off of my pants, because otherwise I'm going to have to go home.
AJ, add Tide stick to the list of things for the studio needs.
I just saw the stain.
Oh yeah, you can see this. Look how big that thing is.
Oh my God.
Yeah, Tom, you have to stand up. I need to see it. It's not fair now that I cannot see it.
You're not cool until you pee your pants.
Look at that. That's all Pepsi. Thanks so much for your support.
It's literally like right on where you would if you pee your pants.
It was half full before I did it.
I feel like I missed part of the show because that is not how.
What's that movie? If peeing in your pants is cool, I'm Miles Davis.
Yeah, Billy Madison. Yeah.
Oh my god.
This bottle was half full.
And it's now on your pants.
Somebody says some smart ass thing. I spit, and as I'm taking the bottle away, yak.
Well, you were talking, and I was like, "Oh, he's probably like playing it up for the show." That's probably
no.
And then you like pivoted in your chair, massive.
It's huge. Yeah. I mean, well, like I said, it's about
literally like if you peed in your pants, it's exactly in that location.
It's exactly in the pee in your pants location. And the other thing about it is, it's about 8 ounces of brown
Yeah, that's
water.
Rough. That's rough.
Thank goodness it's not the summer and mosquitoes would be like.
I can't even cross my legs and get rid of it. Oh God, unbelievable! Is that ever going to dry in the next hour?
You're gonna have to.
I mean, I'm screwed.
You're
Do
gonna
you guys have the blow dryers in the men's room?
I
Oh,
was gonna say, the guy in the bathroom, no pants on, just holding it up to the blow
Holding it
dryer.
up to the blow dryer.
You guys are going to have to hold him from like his arms and his legs, and then.
You know what's so weird about that? I didn't even know it had happened because I didn't feel it happen. And I looked down and went, "What the hell is? Oh Jesus!" I looked down and I had no idea it even happened. I mean, I knew I splashed.
What size pants you wear? I got another pair in the truck.
I should be able to be good out there. I'm just I got 10 minutes between shows to run down and oh my God, we probably better get going anyway here. So I am not showing you again, Kristen Bird. I can
That
see
was enough. I was
show me again, Tom. The
no, I don't need to see it
your
again,
pants.
but I just
That's
wanted to,
a
because
great
everyone was
color.
like how massive it was. It
I
was.
don't even
It's a
know
big
Halloween
stain.
costume. That's what I'm gonna do for Halloween costume. Just pour about half a bottle of this. Look, I came as a guy who peed his pants.
Yep. Everybody's just walking around in wet pants, going as Tom Bernard this year for Halloween.
Why do I hold it like this anyway? Why would I do this?
Just a
You need a cup holder. That's what he needs. He needs a little cup holder.
I'm
Another
never-
thing to add to the studio: cup holder and shout wipes.
Don't talk to me ever again. That's all I have to say to you.
See,
All
this is
right.
your social media clip of the day.
All right, I'll be down hosing off my crotch while you guys are doing whatever you're doing.
Oh,
That's right. I'm gonna go write an article, but I'll see you
You're
all
mean.
tomorrow, and hopefully everyone will have dry pants.
Well, I'm gonna wear. Are there any pants you can wear that if you spill on them, they don't show the stain as badly?
Like parachute pants.
But you can get the ones that are like pre-stained. So you can just
Calico
tell
pants.
people,
Oh,
yeah,
that's
tell
true.
people that's what your pants are. Yeah, pre-stained.
Although everybody was walking around with all of these cuts in their jeans. Why do people wear jeans with cuts all down the leg? Why?
It's stylish.
How is that stylish? It looks like
cute.
crap.
makes it look worn
It's
and rugged.
cute when you have like a cute little hole. It's cute.
It's not cute. It looks
They're
like
not
you
in
wore-
right now, so you're not going to see them
Oh,
as
they're
much.
not?
No, they're not.
Oh, I saw a
but
bunch of them over the weekend. As a matter of fact, young women
let them know they are not in style right
not in
now.
style anymore. You
Although
lame.
fashion is usually probably a season. Yeah.
And then you point, this is what's in style.
Yeah. Pee your pants.
Giant
or
stains.
just take an 18-ounce bottle of Pepsi and put about 17 ounces of it in your lap. Look at that. Well, I mean, seriously, look at how much it was up to here. So that had to be about 10 ounces. It didn't get on the floor.
Someone needs to go and buy him a new Pepsi too. So Pepsi, shout wipes, and a cup holder. Anything else? Maybe a Stanley. You know, if he had put it in a Stanley tumbler, it probably wouldn't have fallen the same way. And then you put that in the cup holder. Right now, that is about $150 investment in the studio,
Yeah,
just
well,
with the Stanley alone.
I was just ahead of the times. You have those the $600 pea-stained designer jeans. That's what you can tell people those
Well,
are.
and again, what the hell? Who said something that made me spit up the Coke? No, the Pepsi
Was it
in the
Egert?
first place?
No, I think it was. I think it
Was
was
it
Phil.
Egert?
Was it Phil?
Or was
Because
it
I think he was
Phil?
talking about the Bears guy or something, and he said something.
Wait,
funny.
you've had this for that long?
Wait, the
Well, I
stain has
just-
been
it just
happening
kept-
for.
I didn't even feel it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, 'cause
And
it's
then all
like
of a sudden I looked down and went, what the hell is that?
Yeah, because you have like a golf pant type fabric on, so it
Yeah,
probably
so you-
didn't just
yes.
soak in right away. Yeah.
Oh, it's so, yeah, that's exactly
It
right.
wicks the moisture wicking
All
fabric.
right, shut up, all you. Leave me alone. Get away from me.
Oh,
Every one of you. We'll be back with Kristen Bird tomorrow, and I will not have Pepsi all over my pants.
Fingers crossed.
Oh, I wonder if it got on my shirt. Oh, it didn't get on my shirt, though, thank God. So I can
Maybe.
pull-
Can Catherine bring you in a pair of pants?
it's only Pepsi, so it's, I mean,
The stain will still be there. I'm telling you.
so it's
I'm
never
not
going to go
kidding.
away.
Until you wash it.
Bitch. Why me?
You
Explain
should have
that.
spilled water on yourself instead of Pepsi.
So from now on, it'll be a bottle of water instead of Pep. So what did they put in Pepsi to make it that dark anyway?
Syrup.
Is
Artificial colors.
just it's artificial. Oh, so there's an artificial pea stain.
Yes.
with
Correct.
artificial colors.
Yes.
Correct.
That's good news. I'm
There we
glad to
go.
hear that. That's
Yeah.
great news. All right, I may never come back after you leave. I'm just here to tell you.
So have Catherine bring you pants. You'll be happy.
She's already here, I think. So I got no
Oh,
shot.
No.
I can go home between. Matter of fact, I'm lucky because the interview I'm doing is at not till 11:30, and it's down in the southern part of the. So I live directly west of here, so I can just hook around and go west, and then hook around to the south.
Perfect.
So I can go home. That'd be
You've
good.
got a plan.
I'm going to go in the bathroom right now and climb up on the thing and hold my crotch up to the dryer.
Someone please take a photo of that. Okay.
Yeah,
Put it on,
to make it even
put
worse.
it on Facebook for me.
Tevin, that's all you.
You want to see it once more before you go? I bet you, don't you?
I don't think so.
Good. I'm not doing it. So
I was
that's
going to say, I'm like, I don't think HR wants you to show it again.
Probably not.
Drop your groin right in the camera for all
Yeah,
those.
I'm just like, you
look at
probably
my
shouldn't
crotch.
offer it up.
Also, while we're here, for everybody listening, this is a perfect opportunity for you to go to the Tom Barnard Show YouTube page and subscribe to see exactly what we're talking about.
Yes, you're.
Yes.
Oh, that's a
Because,
very, very
we
good
get
idea.
those-
It is a must-see situation.
Must pee.
Boy, look at the must pee,
Wow.
must see, and must
Show's
pee.
over.
All right.
It is. Kristen Bird Entertainment News brought to you by North American Banking Company. Go to nabanco.com to learn more. Member FDIC, equal housing lender. Why is it? No. Again, I'm not going to stand up, but I have my legs crossed, which I did at the time, and it creates this perfect bowl where if you do spill liquid, it kind of just sits there and then soaks in and spreads out. Why would God design Pepsi
God's mad at
bottles?
you for something. I don't
God
know.
is mad at me for something. I don't know what I did, but he's mad at me, or she. Good. God could be a woman.
Very true.
See, let's not forget that. No, it didn't help. I thought it might help. I thought it might dry.
It just goes away.
Yeah.
It just went away because I acknowledged God is a woman.
Yeah.
All right, young lady, I'll see you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow. Bye, guys.
Okay, well, you guys get to go home. And I got another hour, and then I get to go home and hose my crotch off, or what I'm going to do. I still got to go into the men's room.
I'm going to stop making jokes because I know if I make one more, like I'm going to spill on myself the second I step outside or something.
Well, and again, it's just such a perfect little funnel spot.
yeah.
I mean, it's a perfect. I didn't even know I did it.
Yeah.
I mean, I at first, and then I was, what the hell is that? And I started looking.
Yeah, I was expecting a few drops. Like, he's just over exaggerating this. No, that's a half a bottle.
It was about a half a bottle of Diet Pepsi, but at least it's wild cherry, so it looks like my nuts right there. You see that's those two little red things. Looks like my nuts are red from all the staining.
Yep.
All right. Do I have to get up? I do, don't I? But this will cover my crotch perfectly.
Yeah.
on the way
Yeah,
back.
just hold that down.
Hopefully nobody's in the hall.
All right, behave. Mike, thanks for coming in.
Thank you,
Very
John.
nice to have you in studio. And we'll talk to you guys later. Family's up in about 10 minutes.